Maybe it caught you off guard again. Maybe it was an ordinary Tuesday. You were folding laundry, or walking through a grocery store, or just sitting quietly with a cup of tea. And then, without any warning at all, the grief came back. Like a wave you thought had passed long ago. And you stood there, surprised by your own tears, wondering why it still hurts this much after all this time. You are not broken. You are not failing at healing. Grief does not follow a calendar, and love does not simply switch off because enough days have gone by. The ache that returns, sometimes months later, sometimes years, is simply love with nowhere left to go. And that is one of the most human things there is. Perhaps you lost someone precious. A mother, a husband, a child, a friend who knew you better than anyone. Perhaps the anniversary just passed quietly, and no one around you remembered to ask how you were doing with it. Perhaps the world moved on, and you are still carrying something heavy and tender in your chest, not knowing who to tell. You do not have to explain it today. You do not have to be further along than you are. There is a passage in the book of Psalms, Psalm 34, written by someone who knew what it was to feel utterly crushed in spirit. Not someone who had everything together. Someone who had wept, who had been afraid, who had cried out in the dark. And yet, in the middle of that very real pain, something tender was offered. Listen to these words from Psalms, chapter 34. The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. Psalm 34, verse 18. Sit with that for a moment. Nigh, that old word simply means near, close, right beside you. Not someday, not once you have healed enough, not after you have stopped crying or found the right words or figured out how to move forward. Right now, in the breaking, the Lord is near to those who are of a broken heart. I want you to notice what this verse does not say. It does not say the brokenhearted are forgotten. It does not say they are being tested, or that their grief is too much, or that they should be stronger by now. It says, simply, quietly, with no conditions, that God is near to them. Near to you. Think about what it means to have someone truly near to you in grief. Not someone who rushes in with answers or tries to fix what cannot be fixed, but someone who simply pulls a chair close and sits down beside you. Someone who does not flinch at your tears. Someone who is not made uncomfortable by your silence or your sadness. Someone who stays. That is what this verse is offering. A presence, a closeness, a quiet, steady nearness that does not require you to have arrived anywhere yet. And that second part, saveth such as be of a contrite spirit. The word contrite in the original language carries the image of something crushed, something ground down. Not someone who gave up, but someone who has been worn thin by the weight of sorrow. And God sees that person, not as someone who has fallen short, but as someone he moves toward. Grief returning long after a loss can feel disorienting, even embarrassing. The world expects us to move through our seasons of sorrow in a tidy, linear way. And when it circles back, when you find yourself undone at an old photograph, or a song that was playing the last time you heard their voice, or a birthday that comes around again and they are still not here, there can be a quiet shame in it, as though you are somehow doing grief wrong. You are not doing it wrong. The heart does not follow a schedule. Love is not logical, and mourning is not linear. And the God who breathed life into every living thing understands the tender, complicated way a human heart holds on to the people it has loved. So if the grief has come back today, let it. You do not have to push it away or apologize for it. You do not have to explain to anyone why you still miss them this much. You are allowed to sit in the feeling, knowing that you are not sitting alone. He is nigh, right here, in this very moment with you. That is not a platitude. That is a promise, ancient and true and spoken to every crushed and tender heart that has ever reached out in the dark and wondered if anyone was there. Someone is there, and he is not keeping his distance. If you are carrying grief today, fresh or returning, I hope you felt something gentle in these words. Not a solution, not a formula. Just a reminder that you are seen and you are not alone in this. Psalm 34, verse 18. Keep it close. Return to it as often as you need to. There is no limit on how many times you are allowed to be comforted by it. If this reached you today, I want to gently invite you to subscribe. We release scripture and quiet reflection here every single day, for anyone who needs a moment of peace in the middle of a hard season. This is a space for you, whenever you need it. And if you have someone in your life who is grieving, someone who might feel like they are grieving alone or grieving too long, would you share this with them? Sometimes the most loving thing we can do is simply send a quiet word that says, "You are not forgotten." You can also leave your name or your prayer request in the comments below. This community holds one another in prayer, and your name is welcome here. Go gently today. You are held.